Brussels' ears are ringing once again, this time from Bratislava. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, never one to shy away from confrontation, launched a blistering attack against the European Union, accusing it of hypocrisy, manipulation, and ideological bias. In a scathing social media post, Fico demanded an honest discussion within the EU about the true state of democracy, pointing to Serbia as a prime example of what he called the bloc's political selectiveness.
EU organs often whip the whip of democracy and teach lessons. At the same time, they ignore that the government, which was legally elected in Georgia, the West organized a Maidan, that in Romania and France, they were deprived of the favorites of the presidential elections. There is no need to talk about Slovakia. All kinds of strange non-governmental organizations, financed from Dutch accounts, come up with reasons to protest every week.
Fico argued that Brussels is punishing Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić for refusing to bow to liberal Western pressures, despite Serbia's readiness for EU accession. He portrayed the standoff as a broader ideological battle over sovereignty and independence. He urged Serbia to resist what he labeled as foreign interference, insisting that EU membership should not be used as leverage to coerce democratically elected governments.
Currently, Serbia is on the course. For the democratically elected president, A. Vučić is sovereign and does not obey Western dictatorship. He faces the wrath of Western gods. If the EU was fair, which is not, Serbia would become a member of it, because it is ready for it. However, due to the sovereign stance of the president, EU membership became a good material for blackmailing Serbian democratically elected political representation.
Turning the lens onto his own country, Fico accused EU institutions of turning a blind eye as Slovak opposition forces, between 2020 and 2023, weaponized the judiciary to stifle political competition under Brussels' watch.
EU, I recommend that we give a few hours of our time to a frank discussion whether we are behaving democratically in the EU. I'm not entirely sure about this. By the way, I am talking about Slovakia in 2020, 2023, when the EU left the opposition in making fools. Forgive me to say it, I, Robert Fico, 4 times illegally indicted for political activity and near death for sovereign opinions. Alexander, hold on.
The rhetoric out of Bratislava echoed recent remarks from Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó, who condemned what he described as the EU's liberal monopoly over defining democracy and interfering in national governance.
Until now, the international liberal mainstream had dominated Europe, and we were very annoyed by this. We were fed up with it. The interference in our internal affairs, the education, and the judgment really bothered us. We were also confused. We were tired of the definition of democracy according to the liberal mainstream, that if a liberal party wins, then democracy is fine. But if a patriotic right-wing government comes to power, then democracy is in danger. And we reject this kind of definition.
Fico's eruption marks more than mere political theater. It serves as a sharp rebuke from within the bloc, reflecting an intensifying ideological divide between Western institutions and Eastern nationalist leaders. With Slovakia and Hungary drawing a clearer line of resistance against Brussels, the European Union's vision of unity appears to be fraying, giving way to a growing volatile East-West rift.